everyone. Welcome to WagerTalk TV. My name is Minty, and joining me today is Bruce Marshall at Bruce A. Marshall on Twitter and Gianni the Greek at Greek_Gambler on Twitter. Today's Cincinnati at Memphis video is brought to you by the Gold Sheet, the nation's longest-running sports betting publication. Now, Cincy has already clinched their spot in the AAC title game, but they need to win this Saturday in Memphis in order to claim home field advantage. Can the Bearcats do it, Bruce?
We'll see. By the way, happy Thanksgiving week to you and to
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And to everybody who's watching. And by the way, the Gold Sheet, like I say, Thanksgiving week, you should read my story this week. I talk about a very important NFL game Thanksgiving long ago that I actually remember, 1963, Green Bay and Detroit. Yeah, I'm a little older than I look. And maybe I'm not older than I look. Maybe I do look this old. But anyway, it's a good read. It's a good read at goldsheet.com. You're asking about Cincinnati and Memphis. It's a fascinating game.
It is.
It really is. But there's some peripherals going on here. First of all, the American was asleep at the wheel. They shouldn't put these teams playing each other the last game of the regular season. They should be playing within the divisions, West, East, East. This crossover, they're going to probably play again next week if Memphis wins. Secondly, just file this away. Two coaches here that are pretty hot commodities. More so Mike Norvell at Memphis. I'm hearing that he might be bound for Florida State. He may not end up coaching Memphis's bowl game. He is that hot a commodity. Luke Fickell is too, but I think it's going to take more to get him out of Cincinnati. Now, what about this game? Here's the dynamics. You mentioned it. Cincinnati wins, gets to play next week at home. Maybe not against Memphis, though. Navy beats Houston. Memphis loses this game. Navy will be the opponent. If Memphis wins, though, they're going to get Cincinnati again next week. Now, if one of these teams comes through this thing with just one loss at the end, they're going to be in the New Year's Six. Big money, but not Boise sitting there. So there's so much at stake going on here. The eye test, Memphis wins the eye test here because their offense looks so much better. But Cincinnati, grinding out results, but the offense is bogging down. Ritter, the quarterback, is 18 for 43 the last 2 weeks. They go about 2-to-1 run to pass. Memphis looks a lot better. Brady White putting up better numbers. And they are 11-4-1 their last 16 versus the spread here at the Liberty Bowl. And Cincinnati, second half of the season under Luke Fickell has been a little tough. They're only 5-12 versus the spread after midseason the last 3 years. For that reason, we're going to lean to Memphis here in this game. 34-17. That looks a little strong here, but I think Memphis has so much more offense. The only thing is they got to do it again next week if they want to get in the New Year's Six.
I agree. Lots of offense. Yanni.
Yeah, I mean, the best team doesn't always win. There's a lot of randomness over a 60-minute football game, basketball game, baseball game, and that's what we usually see. And when you look at the Memphis side, we know they're the better team. And in fact, they're the deserving New Year's Day team that should be playing a bowl game there, at least power rating wise. And what I mean by that is if you look at Cincinnati, granted, great record, attractive record. They're the only undefeated team, I believe, left in their conference. But still, I don't think they're a top 30 team power rating wise. Where on the flip side, Memphis, there's barely 20 teams that would be favored over Memphis on a neutral field. And I think this betting line reflects that. I would not be surprised if the books end up needing the Memphis side because Cincinnati really looks attractive, an 11-1 football team getting double digits in a game of such importance. But I think Memphis is the prohibited favorite and should be. And what worries me is there's no line value there. I wouldn't lay 11-10 and lay 10 points with Memphis because their goal is to win this game, not to cover it. There's no style points for them. They just got to win and get on to next week. And when you're laying double digits and your team's only objective is to get that W and move on, you know, it kind of contradicts the goal if you need a blowout. So for me, I think Memphis is the right side. I wouldn't be surprised to see Memphis beat this team by 3 touchdowns. But at the same time, I don't think there's any line value. I don't think laying 11-10 and laying those double digits gives you much of the best of it. So
I agree. Thank you, gentlemen. Get the nation's longest-running sports betting publication, The Gold Sheet, for just $9. You'll receive detailed analysis, write-ups, stats, and more on every college and pro game this week. Download The Gold Sheet now at WagerTalk.com or SportsMemo.com.